CI class manager is the place where you're going to add this identification and reconciliation, all other stuffs. Yesterday we were seeing about the Linux server. This is the Linux server in it. So basically we will be seeing the Linux server with the table name over here, and which is a basic one, and the attributes or the table fields what we are having in the particular table, and especially we were talking about this identification rules. Okay, so when we talk about the identification rules, usually the system identified with the particular value with the help of this identification. Once we are running the discovery, it used to find the open port, and open port, if it find Linux in the sense, then it will find the Linux version also, which is going to put that in the proper table of that particular Linux version. Okay, and also let us go for the identifiers now. We have kept for the Linux server. These are the three attributes that has to be matched. So, like we used to write the transform map with the police field, correct? If we have these three fields as police field in the sense, it will be it will be like for example, I would say only if three things are there, and if the three things has been matching with any one of the CI in the system, then it will update the source, and it will not uh, what is it like it will not create a new one if it already find the same match in the system. Okay, guys are trying to understand these things. Now we are going to do about the reconciliation
Uh,
part.
right. These are predefined attributes, right? I mean, for Linux or this stuff, or
Yeah,
we are
yeah.
going to
We do
do
have the
any manual.
hardware rules usually, okay? So we
Hmm.
usually have the hardware rules over here, not the predefined ones in the sense. Predefined ones and the out of the box is the hardware one. Okay. If I go to the Windows server, you can see that clearly. You could see here we can see configuration item, hardware, computer, server, and the Windows server. And if you go and look at over here, it is showing the hardware rule and applies to the hardware and identifiers for the hardware only. Now
Okay.
this all these coming from this particular hardware table only, not directly written in this table. Okay. So what happened?
So,
The parent.
question is like, how it fits, like through only basic info, it will be fetching these all details, or I mean, what would be the source to fetch those details?
Let me go through the hardware rules first and I can explain you that.
Sure.
We're having the hardware rules now. Now, we go and see inside of the hardware rules. Can you see the priority over here? The first priority is the correlation ID. Now, whenever we run the discovery, it will come and check whether we will be getting one of the correlation ID from there, correct? And it will try to match the correlation ID in the hardware, sorry, in the particular this hardware table. And if it already find that correlation ID, in the sense it will update it, it won't create a new ID. But if it tries to find a new ID, in the sense, then it will be it will be creating the new one. Next, if it doesn't going to be get works, then if it is has a second check, in the sense it will go and check for the serial number of the one. Within this itself, it is not going to be insert or updated. Next level, it will come and check for the serial number and serial number type, whether it is having in any one of the configuration item, whether it is mapping out to that. And then it is going to check with this table whether we are having the serial number within this table. And next one is the name that is going to map out from there. And if there is any dependent MAC address over there, those things will be get plotted like this. Step by step, these identifiers will be getting checked, and then only it will get insert the particular one.
Okay.
Okay, for that, if you go and see the discovery logs, okay, here one of the discovery gets started, and it has been it started, and one thing has been ended over here. Let us check these two things to get a real 1 minute. Mm, let us go into this Windows and Linux machine thing what I have created this one. So now if I try to go with only with this IP address, then let's see how it actually works. These are the
So
logs.
are we trying to discover something in the network with
Yeah,
IP now?
yeah, yes. Now I have run this IP, and this is my results are coming. Okay. Now you can see this identifiers over here, correct? It tries to
No.
map the identifier over here.
Uh, I mean, I was like little confusion here. Where to trigger discover option?
Okay. See, let me for discovery trigger you have to have the IP address. Let me run the discovery for this IP address. Okay. For that I have to come over here, click on discovery schedules, click on
Okay.
quick discovery, put that IP
Okay.
address over here, and click on OK. This will
Okay.
start that. This will trigger the
One
discovery.
second. One second. Let us note down this part. Discovery schedule.
Quick discovery. You have to give the IP address. Once you press that and then you come back to the IP, it will trigger the IP.
Uh,
So now it started the discovery, and in the ECC queue, if you go and see, it has started and it has launched all the probes to see what type of machine it is. And in the classification, it is finding the open port is finding as that is a Windows machine. Now it is giving this classification with the credentials to validate that particular Windows machine. Let me refresh this one. And it is completed, started and completed with the 6 steps. If I go for this discovery logs,
okay.
discovery
If you don't
started.
mind, can I ask one more question?
Hmm?
So if we have a complete network needs to be get discovered, will it
Hmm?
be possible or we need to come by one? If we
No, no.
onboard a new account,
Hmm?
so where we need to find what are the devices, I mean what are the nodes existing on the environment. So is there any chance that with the subdomain or the domain can we discover everything?
Yes, you can. I can show you the way how you have to do that. Okay. Go for the
Sure.
discovery schedules. Okay. Discovery schedules. You have to create the new one over here. Okay. While going to this topic, I will definitely show you. But still, as a question, I'm going to answer this one. Okay. Here, can you see? This is how you have to mention the discovery. Here, you can see the discovery range set and IP address ranges set. Here, I have to define my quick ranges as a set of see up to this IP address, or somehow different IP address. I can mark it as a comma specified one, or I can do the discovery range set from this IP address to that IP address. I can give multiple IP address over here to find between that ranges. Okay, okay with this one.
Apologies,
I,
talking in mute. Okay, that's good. We are able to understand SNMP version 1 and SNMP version 2, where it can fetch devices details also. But generally, while we are using SNMP 2, I think we have to use some credentials as well, right?
yes.
So
See, now we
where?
doesn't go to that part at all. We are just going to tell, doing with the identification and the reconciliation engine of CMDB.
Okay,
These
okay,
things I will be coming later. Okay.
no worries.
Yeah. So now I'm going to tell you how this identifiers works in a system. Let me open all these three things. This is the rule number one, and this has been searching for the some of the things as a identifier rule number one, but it skipped this identity entry. And now it is going to check the identity true with the hardware table, and this is also gets skipped because it cannot find, I mean it is not correlating any kind of correlation id in the hardware table also. Now it is trying with the rule number 3 in the serial number table. Now it has been passed, identifier has been identified all these things, and it is showing as match over here. We get a match in this serial number and serial number type match. Okay, it won't get stopped within the first IP and the second IP. It will come to two, three rules to get clarified, and then only it will fetch the CA data into the system. Okay, or you're trying to understand this one?
Yes, yes, a little bit we're able to understand, but anything else we'll let you know.
Sure. And
So
this is how
every
this is,
transaction will be captured in log, right?
yeah, yeah, discovery logs.
Hmm.
Here in the discovery logs, it will get captured.
Okay.
And this is how it will launch the pattern over here. From the pattern, it will take all the answers.
Okay. Is it discovery pattern?
Yeah, discovery patterns.
So will it be able to make us? I mean, can you give me a small
This is
brief on
identified
discovery?
by the classifiers, okay? This will be
Okay.
identified by the classifiers, not by this identification tool. We do have something called port probe sensors, trigger probes, and classifiers into a system, which helps to identify this particular pattern in the discovery patterns.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now we are going to talk about the reconciliation engine. So once the CI is already there, but now how to identify the same CI without any duplication or without any too much of overload, I mean overwriting the item again and again. Okay. Okay
Yes.
guys, are trying to following me.
Yes.
Guys, this
Yes.
is
We
the
are in. We are
critical
in.
one. You have to understand it, else it is very difficult to be moving forward. The next one is the reconciliation engine. In the reconciliation engine, take an example. Okay, let me show that page also to you. Okay, take an example. We are having discovery. Okay, data source is also coming up, and we are going to import do the import set for the CMDB CI table now. Okay, now now for the particular Windows machine, okay, for the CI itself we can take it up. The device we configured as Windows Server. This is the one. Which, the CI we discovered is the this particular CI. Now, if you go into that particular CI, you can find the RAM, OS, everything you are finding out. CPU speed, memory, chase, disk space. Take and disk space as 30 now. Now, what happened? This is the information that is given by when you are running the discovery, correct? But when you run the import set, in the import set Excel, you are having this disk space as 80 now. Now, when that import set has been run, this will be changed to 80. Am I correct? Am I correct, guys? If I try to import the any kind of import into the CMDB table, then it will be giving the then it will changing the value to the 80 now. Now when I try to run any kind of data source like SCM or any other thing, it has the value of 100 now. Then again it will be changing to the 100. But still we are not clear what is the exact value of that CI. Am I correct?
Yes, yes, understood.
Okay.
Then
For
how it
this
fetch?
for this confusions, to get rid of this confusion, we are having a data precedence rule in the system. Here, in the data precedence rule, we are going to tell which is the most trusted one in the which is the most trusted one you have to update into the system. Let's go to the reconciliation rule and check it out for the where we don't have any reconciliation rule. Okay. For example, if you let me go to this computer and see about the reconciliation. Hardware. Here there is many reconciliation rule. Let's take this an example now. Okay. Now I'm writing for this table one of the reconciliation rule over here. Let me go and filter out for this particular table now. Let's take the load balancer now. Show master. You can see two things from two sources. You're going to get the data for this table. One is ServiceNow, and another one is the Service Watch. If I try to open these two things, here you could see that applies to this table and this is the priority, and here it is showing applies to this and this is the priority. For example, over here, if you have the priority of service watch to be 1000 in the sense, and here you're going to tell what are the fields it can be get changed. Okay, if you want to give any type of approval group or assert a DNS name, whatever fields you give, it will be get captured. Now, what is the meaning for this one in the sense we are having this one and this one? So now, first the this one's this service now discovery will get runs, and it will create a new CI now. Okay, and then next to this service watch will get runs, and this will change only this particular fields in that particular table. What are the new values coming from the next system? Again, if the service now get runs in the sense, it will not update any fields now in the CI table. Why in the sense? Because the priority is most given to the service watch which was run in the last time. Now it cannot update the priority that is lower than that one. Okay. Are you trying to understand this one, guys, or it is difficult for you to understand?
Reconciliation, CMDB reconciliation. Uh, Madam, can we get the table names as a listed from you?
Table names.
Yes, table names like CMDB underscore reconciliation underscore definition, those lists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, I can. See, I have given you one example, no? I just share my another screen and show you how it actually do that.
Okay.
Can you able to view my screen? Correct. Now I'm going to create a new CI in the Windows server, and RAM for that CI is 8 GB. That is the data source that is coming from the LAN disk. Now, if you go and see the priority what I have written over here for this RAM in the sense, it is going to show me the next I am trying to run the this particular import set now, and now for the same CI it has the RAM of this one. Then the service now get runs and it update to the 32 GB, and again if the import set runs, it is going to update that one as the 12 GB now. Now we are not sure what is the real RAM capacity of this particular Windows Server machine. Okay. Now, when I
Okay.
write data precedent rules and telling the system, hey, see, for the Windows Server table, ServiceNow has the highest priority. Whichever order is very less, that is the highest priority. And import set has lower priority compared to ServiceNow and higher priority compared to Landisk, and Landisk is the very least priority over here. Now I again try to do the same process now. Now I run the LAN disk. It inserted this new Windows server and update the RAM with 8 GB. Now I try to run the import set. Here, import set has higher priority than the LAN disk. Now what happened? It will update the particular GB as 12 GB now, which is not an issue. Now service now get runs, and which is having the, see, previous time it was import set, now it come and check whether it is clashing any kind of priority rules over here. Now it finds service now has more priority than the previously run update set. Then it will come and update the RAM as 32 GB, because this is the most trusted I'm sorry, data source that is coming from the host machine. Now it against the import set get runs in system, but this time it will not update the RAM. Why? Because in the sense, comparing to import set, ServiceNow has the highest priority. ServiceNow is the most trustable discovery source in the discovery source for this particular table. This is how you have to write the data precedence, data source precedence rules. Like how I have shown in one of the table, no, you have to give the priority number and other things. Can I able to correlate those things over here? For the same table, you have written two things. If whatever priority is low compared to other one, so that has the highest priority to change this particular attributes in the table. After this, you people can understand, right?
A little bit, but a little confusion because we are not practically gone through it. Might be because of that reason.
Okay. Okay, no issues. Now if I go and see this particular CI in the sense, okay, where is that CI? 1 minute. Now take an example of disk space as 30. Now I'm going to write the reconciliation rule for this Windows table. Okay. Let me write the reconciliation rule for the table. For Windows Server, I'm going to write, okay? Reconciliation rule. First one is the data precedence rule. I'm going to write the new source. Source as discovery, source as ServiceNow, priority as 100, attributes is like, let me check with the disk space alone. Next, and if there is any filter, you can apply the filter and save it out. And I am adding another rule, import set, giving the priority as 150. Next, attribute is going to be disk space alone, saving this one. I have two rules as of now, which is having high priority over here. Service now does, correct? Now let me go to CMDB underscore CI underscore win underscore server dot list 119. This is the one, show matching, and I'm in need of the disk space as of now. We get the disk space in the next side. Now let me import this as Excel, downloading this one, data source. I'm going to import that update set, import data source, new,
So we are applying some changes, or we are applying, or we are importing the exporting reports from console,
yes,
right? So where we
see,
have apply the changes in bulkly instead of individuals,
yes, it will be bulk.
we can do, right?
Yeah, yeah. For example, only I'm doing the same one. I'm going to change that Excel value and then I'm going to show you the result. But it can be a bulk, no issues on that.
Okay.
In that Excel, I have changed the space as 50. Okay. Now I'm trying to importing that particular one. It is get imported. Let us see the loaded data also, and we can create the transform map for this. So the loaded data is like, can you see the disk space over here, guys? What I have given as 50. Okay, I'm going to do the transform map. Text CMDB target table Windows server. I'm going to save this record. Auto map matching fields I'm going to do. Police serial number alone I'm giving. Okay, true. That's it. Okay. Now let me run this transform. Okay, it is success and it is completed. Now what happened over here? It is changing to what? It is changed to the disk space now. Correct. One minute. Let me get the activity over here. Okay. Excuse me. Let me go and check the this Daystar precedence rule once again. Okay. Again, let me go and trigger the discovery. Discovery schedules, IP address. Big discovery, IP address. Okay, it started running the discovery.
And also, just want to know,
Hmm.
so if it is discovering for one network, it has to
Okay.
be it has to be addressed with, I mean, a specific route, right? See, now we are in the same network, so we are able to discover the I mean, with the IP
Hmm.
address. Okay.
Okay.
But if some cases, if we have multiple IPs with the same IP address, but the account name will be different.
Yes.
So in that case, how it will be like, with what specific we will be discovering?
It is
It can
coming
be
from the
having.
cloud actually.
I didn't get you. Apologies, madam.
You come again with your question.
See, now we are having only one IP, so we are giving 192.51.40.119 as an IP address, and we are discovering.
Okay.
Okay, but what I'm asking is like, now I have two components in two networks with the same IP. Okay, one
Two
is
components
XYZ.
in the sense.
There are two networks now, like two customers. One is XYZ customer and another one is ABC customer. The both the customers are under C category or grade A IP channels. So when I mean, they can build their own network, and the both customers are reporting to our service now. Now when we initiate a discover with the IP address, initial IP address, the both the customers having that IP address. So how
How
that
the
kind of
IPv4 can be same for everybody,
it
both the
is it
customers.
is it is in different customers, right?
IPv4.
Yes, it
See, it
can
is
be.
some of the decimal number, correct? But still
In,
IPv6 is there,
in
correct?
yes, V6 is there. Okay, we can like, IPs are the channels where we will be having categories, right? A category, B category, C category. Based on the range, we will be adding. If I connected to the my home network, I will be having basic address like 192.168.1.1 or 2 or 3 4. If you check your IP address in your home network, you will be also having the same network, same IP address, but we are in different networks.
Yeah.
So when we both try to add our devices to the CMDB list with the same IP address, how
Hmm.
that kind of scenarios the service now handle?
That is why we have MAC address, correct?
Yes.
Usually, ServiceNow doesn't have the IP address as identifiers. It will have
Mm-hmm.
serial number as an identifier. Okay,
Okay.
so it won't
Okay.
discover. I mean, within that IP address, still it is. It will go and search within that whole network. It won't go and search and give that CI because IP is just an address only for that. If it has two IP
Hmm.
address in the same, two things will get discovered.
Along with the IP, Mac as well be get discovered, right?
Yeah.
So will
Usually,
the
you can
two?
have 3 to 4 IP address also. For example, see, excuse me, IP is not the identifier for any of the identification. Okay,
Okay.
how many are over here now with the same IP address? How many things it has been found now?
Yes.
All are different classes. Can you see it?
Yes.
So IP address is address which is going to have in the network as a any kind of device machine. So all the dependencies will also be get caught into this IP address.
Okay. Now I'm able
Okay.
to get this thing. Now I'm able to get.
IP is not an identifier. It can have multiple things. Only identifier is the serial number which cannot be duplicated. If you have a same IP address but still this different serial number, then it is understandable that these are two different machines with the same IP address. That's it.
Now I'm able to get it. So preferably it will calculate some other serial numbers as well, right? The serial number is
Yeah.
nothing but MAC address, right?
No. Serial number is different. MAC address is different.
Okay. Okay. So how we are connecting to the customer network? Do we have any mediator between customer network and our network, our service now?
It's only mid server alone. Nothing more than that.
MID.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we going to look at mid as well? Mid server as well?
Definitely without mid server, how can I go for ITOM?
No, we are covering here, right? I don't.
Yes. You're
Thank you.
going to cover, yeah.
So mid server has to be installed on the client network.
Yeah, then only you can discover the network, all the things in the network. Without mid
Okay.
server, you cannot
Okay.
run anything actually.
So from the mid server, how we are reaching us? I mean, how we are connecting through any particular tunnel or
Okay, I will tell
through.
you. This is your instance. You installed the mid server in one of the host machine in their client's network. Now
Okay.
what happened? You will be having few properties in the mid server where you have to give this instance address, username and password. Always when there is a discovery, it will put the
Mhm.
CI within this ServiceNow instance. That is how we map the instance along with the mid server.
Okay. Got it. I got it now. So while we are configuring, will it require any credentials or just webhook is good enough?
We need credentials. Definitely we need credentials.
Okay. So through APIs, they are pushing it, right? The information from it.
Yes.
So I think my question might be wrong. See, the generally we there are two types of couplings, right? Tightly coupled and loosely coupled, where it has to be with the cabled connection and somewhere where we can transfer data with the APIs. In here, in this case, A mid server is communicating with our service now through APIs or through tightly coupled, like from particular port to the network.
Yeah.
So which one it is using?
Come again with your question once more.
There are two types of connectivities, right? From node to node. It could be mid to our service node or service node to mid. One is tightly coupled and one is loosely coupled. The tightly coupled is like it has to be a proper connectivity, a wired connectivity between them, and it has to
There
be
is
with
no something called tightly coupled or loosely coupled. Okay, fine. So everything over here is just an connectivity
APIs.
as an APIs only, but still it is we cannot say it is API. Okay, it is a Java thread that is running in the host machine. We need to
Okay,
have a host connectivity over here. That's it. Okay. For any one of the instance, we are going to give the mid server configuration, IP configuration over there. So what happened that mid server will directly connect it to this instance to the instance CMDB CI. We have that one minute. Let me show you that too. You can view my screen right now. Go to the mid server agent. Okay. Can you see the config file over here? Configuration file and all over here. Start file over here, correct? This is where you will be configuring your data. Configure file. All these are JVM license on override files. Coming to the agent, you have to come over here to the configuration file. Click on it. Can you see a window? Here where you will be giving your instance URL, username, password, and the mid
yes.
server name what you have connected within that mission. This config file will be going into the some kind of encrypted data into the system as a thread
One
match in my
second.
system, as a Java API, as a HTML, it will connect over there.
Okay, now I understood. It is connected with the loose thing, like where the data will be transmitted from mid to our ServiceNow instance through APIs. I mean, through
Yes.
JSON format, encrypted format. Now I
Yeah.
understood.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. Okay, guys, let's meet on Monday, same time. Okay. Thank you,
sure.
everyone. Thanks. Yeah,
Thank
bye.
you. If possible, try to share the recordings as well, so that in weekend we would like to cover it.
Okay. I think you have my number. Give your mail ID alone. I can share with admin that she will be giving you the access. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye.